their playoff spot.
Absolutely.
So this is a big one.
Well, let's get into it. See if OpTic has improved since that devastating 3-0. It's like a month ago at this point. They've had a lot more time to iron out the kinks. Let's see if it comes to fruition here in a juggernaut matchup against Rise Nation.
Yeah, and you gotta think for Rise, they're just trying to still prove to the world that they're the best team because they had a very bad week last week. I just think showed a lot of weaknesses. They didn't play up to their competition, and the competition ate them up for that. But Slasher and Looney able to get some kills early time, going the way of Rise Nation. You have Octane. He's still alive up top, able to get that one kill, but he's just going to be annoying for Rise to deal with and allows Octane to push up that map. Just try and get him out of those corners. But nice shot by Looney to take him down.
OpTic, though, is spawning at the next hardpoint. If it's just Octane that popped at Winery, it's TJ, though, that wants to influence this around the back. He's going to be the guy that needs to make a play in transition. His teammates obviously all fighting from kind of bottom of the map, mid-street through restaurant. Can TJ get anything done? There's obviously not a lot of help here at all for him.
And pretty soon, OpTic's going to realize, like, hey, we need to find TJ, and Crim's going to find him in the back, so that's one kill. And you can see what happens. Scump then has to turn around. TJ wins another kill. And that's the break right there. There's just one player left. It's Octane. You can see what happens when you have someone in the back. It breaks the setup. It creates a timing. Looney, he found that timing, and now Looney's doing the dirty work alongside Gunless in the back.
Very well done by TJ and the rest of Rise to get the original break in, but now they're spawning out by that B-bomb site. It's four-man hit coming into Slasher. He's got to deal with the world and not up to the task. OpTic answer right back and get on in with just over 20 seconds remaining. They also have two that spawn out kind of the bottom side of field, so they've got two that can rotate. They're going to have to end up giving up this final 15 or so seconds, and we'll start to focus on parking lot.
Yeah, that's the big thing. How is Rise Nation going to break this setup for OpTic at parking lot? Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen in with Rise Nation.
Tower or sandbags?
Sandbags. Sandbags shrimp right now, guys.
Yeah, he's still sandbags?
White car, weak Sam.
Try to look bottom right now. Try to look bottom
Sandbags
right.
weak?
White car one shot. White car absolute.
I'm gonna go
White car,
He can white cup to me, maybe?
Bottom red.
White car still, guys.
I naded it. If he's
No.
White car.
One shot, scope.
Got me.
Not here, he's not here.
Bottom white. One shot, bottom white.
Yeah, there's two.
Try to go bottom right.
I'm gonna go top red.
I'm going right. One was white cut, I think.
I don't see anything.
I'm going top red.
White cut saw me.
I'm top red right now. I can kill white
He's
car.
white cut weak.
Front weak, Center.
I don't
can't
see.
White cut.
Got me.
Front,
White cup. Free him.
All the way back on the street, Sam. All the way back on the street, Sam.
Try to get this time. If we die, rotate. Whoever just
No.
rotate. Whoever just rotate. I naded out.
Side one shot, Sam. Side alley one.
I'm not dead.
Yeah, he was side alley. Sam.
Not peeking me front.
I'm new right now, guys.
Nah, that's a big kill.
On me, glitch.
Trying to pitch him.
Glitch weak.
I got him.
Nice.
Push on.
You're white cut. Nice. Finish one more.
After one more. Back. No, he backed up. I have arches.
I got inside. He can be on the side.
Yeah, he's up here.
Holding arches right now.
Could we mid-shoot on me?
Holding arches.
One shot in port. Sam. He just laid prone in there.
Top red. They're spawning out on the street. I got this, Dan.
Respawn down. Look at my back point.
I got the
Danny's on me.
Oh shit, I needed it.
He's crim blue car.
Okay.
White cut, big cut.
I needed from right.
Got me right side. He's pushing up green tower right now.
Yeah, I'm going right. I need a green tower.
One's white cut right now. One's white cut.
Did he get to bottom red or what?
No, he's weak.
Green tower weak.
Really weak on car.
Put green tower again.
Two of them on car. Two of them. One's bottom red, one's on the car.
No,
One's bottom red, one's on the car.
Rise weren't ultimately able to break into parking lot, but they get the job done at Lookout Post right back in the game, trailing by 13. But really, I mean, OpTic, just a phenomenal hold there parking lot.
It was perfect.
Dealt with two kind of legit waves from Rise Nation, completely shut them down and spawned them out.
Yeah, but I think the big thing for Rise is you can hear how intense those comms were, right? Like, this isn't just another Pro League match for these guys, right? Again, they didn't have the best week last week. They still want to show their power as a roster, and, well, this is the match to do it against OpTic Gaming when the most eyes are on you. So pretty much a tied game as we go in a restaurant. Gunless and Looney are going to find kills, but it's just a fight over that bottom control, and there's Methods, and it was interesting. I was in the back. I was watching OpTic versus LG. Well, as Methods just finds all four.
Wow.
But I was watching OpTic versus Luminosity scrim, and Methods just got up and he's like, I am getting destroyed right now. I need to take a break. So that obviously helped him. He's able to get that 5 spree, starting to work on some streaks.
The ×4 multi-kill comes through as he just chops down everybody inside a restaurant. There's the first streak. Picks up the glide bomb, lines up the next, but Gunless gets the better of him with the bar at range. OpTic looking to get the rest of this time. Last time it was OpTic kind of with the early winery control, and TJ from Rise made the play in the back. This time, Rise will enjoy the early setup, and OpTic Gaming needs to show what they can do. But the big thing, they also have a glide bomb to work with here. If they want to invest it, maybe they'll save that for parking lot, but as of now, just trying to
I love the way Crim played that. He was just being annoying for Rise. Looney, though, he's able to find 2 kills on Crim and Scump. That'll allow his teammate to push up. You see Slasher, he's just cutting off that big cut area. Scump does take him down, so you're going to have a 4-man push through the front for OpTic. But Looney still being sneaky. Once again, finds 2 kills. That's 4 in a row. Can he make it 5? No. Scump shuts him down, but these 2 powerhouse teams are just trading hills back and forth.
I think Looney's done a fantastic job from positions like that. You saw him doing it at Barn as well, just tucked away in corners, being sneaky, being annoying. He's 18 and 11, and I thought his comms really stood out and then listening as well. I thought he was really, like, especially the time where he's talking
emotion.
about Octane, prone, he's inside, just, I don't know. I thought it was very clear. He was making the plays while also kind of being the general for the team.
Yeah, I think he was just showing how much this match mattered to him. You could just tell he was bringing the intensity right off the rip. And, well, you're going to have a tied game once again between these 2 teams. But OpTic Gaming, they were perfect at parking lot last time. We'll see if they can do it again. But Rise, they're starting to push up towards that field side. They have 1 guy going middle street and 1 guy through tower. But Scump, he's able to cut those guys down, so it's on Octane in the back, and that's just all they have to do. Stagger those, but on the other side of the map, Gunless and TJ find kills, and they actually get the spawns due to Gunless winning that gunfight in the back. Or sorry, TJ.
Incredible time to break. You had a 3-on-2. It's now down to a 2-on-2. Scump and Methods going off inside the hard point. Those 2 man down, able to make the play, and that might help secure. That could be almost like a minute swing if Rise would have broken in there.
Yeah, but TJ's been playing sneaky this entire time. He's on a 4 spree. He gets shut down. He's been so good, and then it's Looney. 23 and 14 performance out of him. Sort of the unsung hero, I think, at times for Rise Nation. I mean, he's obviously the leader, the captain, but he just always makes the heads-up plays, making such smart decisions, and right now he's just having a great game stats-wise.
Just think of how different that scoreline is if Methods and Scump don't hold that. You could basically flip them. Such a big moment. And Methods goes big.
This is where Rise got right back into the game, but they're going to have to deal with this glide bomb now because they did so good on the last lookout post in response to that parking lot hold from OpTic.
They get 1 kill with it, but haven't really found the opening yet as Rise Nation still control both sides of parking lot. They just need eyes on mid, and there they're able to get vision on it and find the kill. As long as they can keep answering the parking lot hold with a great lookout post hold, they're fine. They'll stay right in this game. It's when OpTic finally can break through on lookout posts. I mean, typically, obviously, easier to break than something like parking lot, but Rise have made the hold look pretty easy.
Yeah, they've just done a wonderful job of spawning OpTic out towards
not that time. Scump just killed everybody. Scump just killed everybody.
Towards those wide spawns, but as you said, Scump is able to find 4, and now he's working on some streaks, and that's a big, 15, 20-second swing that goes in the favor of OpTic Gaming. There we go. There's a glide bomb. Can he get any more? Towards the rotation, towards the middle of the map. Octane was able to find 1, but Rise are in. This is another opportunity for Rise to try to bring it on back. And Scump, he's trying to play it for the streaks. He tried delaying his push, but Looney was the guy to pick it up. Once again, an impact kill from Looney.
It's a timing thing. If Scump holds off another 1.5 seconds, maybe Looney starts to hit bottom restaurant. You got a great flank on multiple players, but like you said, Looney reads it and continues to make the play, leading everybody right now at 29 and 18. Having an incredible map.
That's a big gunfight, though. He just lost on the hill to Crim. It was a 1 versus 1 versus Crim. Crim not having the best game at 15 and 25. But right there, he breaks that setup, and now that allows his team to not only get winery spawns, but get this time.
Somehow, through the 2 bars being fired in their direction from Crim and Methods, Rise are able to fight back in. But we've kind of gone back and forth with regards to who has that early setup for winery. This time it looks like it's going to be OpTic Gaming. Can Rise get in? You don't really have the ideal setup for OpTic. It's still a little bit messy. They're all coming off spawn and trying to make the play. Can Gunless and TJ catch anyone?
Oh,
they do.
Man.
Gunless and TJ both get kills. 1 more in the back. The rest of OpTic Gaming now spawning out. It's on Octane to make the hero play. He's had a lot of those, but can't come up with the goods there. So now Rise have winery. And they can't win it here. Maybe if it's perfect they can, but any contention and they're not going to be able to do it.
And as soon as that hill popped, Scump was laying off the spawn. He wasn't spawning in. You had that 4 versus 3, and he spawned all the way across the map. But just like that, Methods and Octane, the ARs of OpTic find kills, and here comes Crim. Now it's just on Slasher. And he's able to find, not able to find the third, so Crim starting to pick it up, gets right back in that hill. The keynote, neither team can win here, so we have to talk about this rotation to parking lot. It's just gunless for Rise. On the other side, you have Methods and Scump.
Rise gave it up.
But you can see the red arrow starting to flood on down.
They realize, you know, they can't win it there. We have to give it up and rely on a perfect hole. But it's the second glide bomb OpTic Gaming's earned, going to come in deep. So you have kind of the deep control right now for OpTic. It'll be hard point control for Rise, but this is going to be very tough for Rise to hold on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a pinch coming in from the old OpTic members. You have a 4 versus, 2 right now for OpTic. They should be able to lock this down. It's just gunless now. He's going to get hit from all 3 directions. Reads it correctly, reads the second one as well. So that allows TJ to get to this position. And well, it's going to come down to the wire as it always does on St. Marie, it seems, on this parking lot. Methods goes big, 34 and 27 for him, and Rise has to try to get in right now.
Methods with his second ×4 multi-kill of this hard point makes the play, and they close out game 1.
Ooh, haven't seen that Scump in a while, getting fired up on the stage, baby.
If you want to know if this meant a little bit more to these guys, I think the answer is right there. You heard the listen in from the Rise Nation side. You saw how hype Scump was. What a gem of a hard point we got in map 1.
I mean, it just comes down to that last rotation. For OpTic Gaming, they had a 4 versus 2. Methods and Octane both realized the situation that they spawned back stable, and their teammates were at the old hill. So what happens? Scump calls down the glide bomb. It gives them basically a 2 versus 3. They're able to collapse. They set up the pinch, and they get all the kills that are needed, and then Methods goes big on that final push.
You can I still give MVP to Methods just because he had the 2 ×4 multi-kills, which obviously one closed out the game. But then also that 2-on-3 they had at parking lot the second time through, where him and Scump held off the wave coming in. They don't do that. The scoreline basically flips. That's like a 60-second difference there because you had about 30 on the clock. Making big plays, man, but that was incredible hardpoint. But now the thing is, I mean, we know how good OpTic's been at hardpoint. The question is the search. We know that Rise won Anaheim off search. They went 8-2 in search. The only team better than them from a statistic, well, I guess a percentage standpoint, was Mindfreak at 9-2. They were really, really good there. OpTic now, their last couple series, their searches look good, but I wouldn't say it's looked good since the team is formed.
Well, I believe up next is Valkyrie, so it is their best map. But before we get into that, Jess had a chance to talk with Octane from OpTic Gaming. Let's hear what Octane had to say.
Thanks, Joe. Well, you know, Octane said we're definitely looking for revenge because we got destroyed last time, but he also said it's kind of more of an ego match than anything. You know, he said both teams are locked into the playoffs, so it's kind of, we're playing for pride, but he also does want that revenge. Now, when I spoke to Rise Nation, Looney actually disagreed, and he said, well, you know, we are also playing for seeding, so it's not just about the pride. Rise are also feeling pretty confident, but unfortunately, as you can see, didn't work out so well for them first map, so let's see how the rest of the maps go. Joe Clint, back over to you.
Thank you, and to my knowledge, they are not locked in. The winner of this will be locked in, but there's still a chance, obviously, for Complexity
it's a small chance
to get to 8 wins, or LG to get to 8 wins. Yeah, very small chance. Well, one of them is going to be good, just based on kind of how the matchups go, but obviously the winner of this will kind of take the first foothold in that top 4. But yeah, I think revenge match is the way to call it. I mean, I saw Octane, and they're getting ready for this match, and I went to him, I was like, do you remember how this went the first time? Just kind of trolling him a bit. He goes, yeah, it was quick. that's all he did.
It's kind of like, no, quick. I don't remember. It was so fast. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about it. It's like, you were like, what happened? I remember the search and destroy. Gunless had more kills than what his entire team or the entire OpTic team.
I remember that. The CTF Ardent Force is the one that sticks in my mind. It was an absolute blowout.
Yeah, but for Valkyrie search and destroy, again, this is a great one for both of these teams. Yeah, for Rise, you have them at 4-2. For OpTic, 5-1. So this is a better map for OpTic Gaming. But we've casted Rise at events. We know how they like to play this. They play a lot of retake situations. Yeah. We'll see what OpTic do to counter that.
I mean, usually we saw them on offense playing very slow, very patient, kind of waiting for a mistake, the other team to get antsy. And then on defense, yeah, think about it. The times we casted it against Red, kind of in the winners bracket final and grand final, they would let the plank go down A. They'd play that 4-on-4 retake, and time again, the guy that would get the pick was Slasher. He'd have an STG, he'd rip somebody off a cover, and then they'd take the 4-on-3 retake. Now, we're talking back to kind of Anaheim, so maybe they've switched some things up, but when we watched, that was their method for success. Patience on offense, retake with a pick on defense.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they go to that. But I like what you said about their offense, because their offense is really what intrigues me. They'll wait about 20 or 30 seconds, and what does that do? It keeps the defense guessing. Where are they going with this, A or B? And basically that just spreads them thin. And what that basically does is say, hey, at no matter which bomb site we pick, unless they take a risk, we're going to have a 4 versus 2.
Well, let's see if maybe some new strategies come out of this Rise Nation team. They will have a 1 player inside of that A site, so it's going to be TJ Haley. It's maybe looking for an opening. First pick, though, comes from Krim. He gets traded, though, instantly.
Remember how big of a week Krim had last week as well. Didn't have the best game one. Had some impact kills, though. Really towards that second, or that last winery hill that we watched. Yeah, I believe he picked up 2 or 3 that allowed them to break on in.
Big one-on-one win there. Scump versus TJ. Scump gets the edge. Wow. Gunless sends methods to round 2 with some nice shots at his STG.
But I like that reaction on a Scump. Just go to that bomb, play with Octane in that 2 versus 2. You have Octane in a great position in that window. It looks like he's actually going to play towards that mound, towards the B site. So not a lot of information given to either team right now.
Here comes Rise. Looney gets the spot. Scump able to snap.
I love that pre-fire. That's just the confidence that Scump has right now. He did read it correctly. Gunless is on the flank. Gunless now 1 versus 2, 20 seconds to play with. And well, Scump just backs on down. There's a push. He accidentally manals, but I just don't think there's time for Gunless right now.
10 seconds left. Nothing he can do. Octane's going to come and check. Octane doesn't have to shoot yet. Waits for the guaranteed kill. Shoots him in the back, and there's the round victory for OpTic.
I think you pointed out just that Scump win over TJ. TJ didn't have the best game one, and TJ last week didn't have the best performance. It was a pretty poor week for him.
I mean, it's a gunfight he could win. He thought he knew his position. You sometimes get a little bit of a peeker's advantage kind of when you're hitting the strafe from the side like that. And it was a gunfight he could take. Just missed some shots, and Scump made him pay.
We'll see now what Rise chooses to do on offense. They have Looney carrying that bomb, and yeah, it looks like they're just spreading out once again. That's what they love to do. Just waste some time. Make sure all your angles are covered. You have methods in Scump. You have 3 towards that A site right now. So if they do decide to hit a late B, it would be all on Octane. He would be in a very tough spot. Maybe OpTic chooses to get a little aggressive. You can see Scump and Methods. They're just strafing back and forth, but Scump backs on up. Oh, that gunfight goes to Methods. Once again, TJ usually so good at first bloods. That's, the second time he gets taken down in a 1 versus 1.
Yep. Looney evens the odds. Octane and Gunless get involved as well. It's quickly, wow, I was about to say quickly a 2v2, but that 2v2 ends within half a second. OpTic take another round as their search seemingly continues to improve.
Yeah, really the A defense here from Scump and Methods locked this down. You got Octane, who peeked from that B site, did find 1 kill in the back, but that was immediately traded by Gunless. So Gunless was waiting for it. But then it was in a 2 versus 2, and you saw Methods push up that elbow. He finds a kill. Then Scump pushes up to help him, and he finds the final one. So good teamwork out of OpTic so far.
OpTic starting to move forward here. You've got Crim6 with vision, sort of the mid-street towards B. A 3-stack, just sort of looking for a hit on the backside of that A site. Krim, kind of the guy playing on an island right now. He's going to get picked, so Slasher will find that first blood.
That's a tough gunfight with a bar when you know Slasher has the STG. Great nade out of Slasher. Trades now, going back and forth. Gunless was able to find Methods. After Methods took down Looney, so you have a 3 versus 2. You have Scump, though, in a tough spot, right? He has to try to get back to this bomb site. Hopefully he can find the timing on Gunless, and he does. So he gets back safely, but 38 seconds now to work with.
I thought that was a good luck with that gunfight. Slasher lines them up as they try to get into A. And first round on the board now for Rise Nation.
Take that all day if you're Gunless.
And that's just, I mean, Krim obviously first to drop. You saw how they were playing. Krim sort of on an island there in the mid-street. The 3 then working together to try and push the backside. And once Krim drops, I mean, obviously the information you're getting from the other side of the map kind of dissolves.
Yeah, I believe that was the ace right there from Gunless.
Gunless, no, Slasher was the one that lined him up.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
When you said that, I was like, okay, I missed that entirely.
Definitely Slasher. That's what I meant. He's on the 3 screen. The Bronze Star showed 4 kills, so I thought someone had.
Oh no, that's just a bug. Yeah, it pops up with like sometimes it looks like people had 7 kills. They didn't. They got 1.
All right.
It's a B hit this time for Rise, trying to back up Octane. That they've been able to do, but the rotation does
So
come in.
fast.
It comes in fast. The smoke is now going to dissolve. They haven't been able to get bombed down yet.
I try to get out of here. I just try to get out of this spot. It's so difficult to deal with. And there we go. First blood to Scump. And there we go. They just get cut down. I love when they force a fast rotation to B, but we've seen from time to time where they just sort of get out and retreat and then take it back to A. But TJ and Gunless,
Okay.
they both win one-on-ones. Now it's a 2 versus 2, but there's the trade, so now it's just TJ. Oh, does he? Oh, I think he just got good timing. Still very loud right now. But they're not going to expect him here. There's not one. Oh, no.
Yeah, yucky.
I think he was just sort of ahead of
Yeah.
his thought process was ahead of his shot. He knew that second player was around the corner, and you saw him stop shooting on the Octane.
Maybe I've seen him lose a couple one-on-ones too. little shaky. A little shaky there.
That's one you definitely want back.
OpTic now back to offense with a 2-round advantage. It looks to be a similar strat in the sense that Krim, once again, your island player, just playing from a different position.
And this is sort of Rise's default setup on defense. They will allow you to get into A. I mean, you have one player there, that's Looney, but he'll keep backing on up. The only reason he's in this position is look at number 8. Look at where Slasher is. He's so far up on the map. That's why Looney's pushed with him. They're going to try and get this kill, and they do find it on the Krim.
Well, I think they know Krim's playing on an island, right?
Yeah.
Once they find his position, they're trying to isolate him. They're able to pick up that kill. They know he's by himself. There's no one there to effectively trade it.
Oh, Octane might find good timing here. He's going to peek this corner. He doesn't know Slasher's right next to him, though. Both Slasher and Looney. It's like the map flipped. It's like Rise is now on attack.
That's how it's looking. We'll see how OpTic plan to attack this. Scump wanting to get inside ventilation, maybe make a play. Nobody inside right now for Rise Nation, so it's wide open for them to get into this A site. Octane gets some information onto Slasher, but you still have to worry about Looney. Three-on-3 retake now.
Looney, he might have played this so well at that time, and he finds Octane.
That's what I'm saying. You still got to worry about him. He's playing so deep. He is able to find the kill, and now it's going to be 3-on-2 advantage for Rise Nation. Scump spotted by TJ. The 2 other players hitting on the backside. Nice shots from TJ. The final player will drop. And plenty of time for the defuse. That'll bring him within a round.
Yeah, so Rise just really taking the map that OpTic offered him. They figured out where Krim was playing. You typically don't see that aggression from Rise, right? Like I was pointing out, they have a default setup where it's sort of a straight line down from that B side all the way towards that sort of back operations bunker, and they'll allow the A plant to go down, but instead they figure out Slasher's A, middle street's open, there's no presence here, they keep hitting elbow, we just got to find Krim, they're able to do it.
I mean, if that's how OpTic's offense is going to be, with Krim playing by himself, if they can get his position, isolate it, and that round it worked out. Again, this is what we'll see a lot from Rise on offense, just slow.
Yeah, very standard.
Spread them out. Wait for someone to maybe get too aggressive. Scump, I don't know how he gets shots on a gunless across the street like that. But quickly, Rise does answer 2 versus 2 now. Slasher wins another one-on-one fight. It's all going to be on Krim. Can Krim make the play? That's not a good spot. It's a miracle he gets away with his life. Slasher just wants to hunt him down.
Oh, I thought they were going to chase, and they actually stopped, so Krim actually regains his health, and he has a chance now on a 1 versus 2. He's going to hear these guys going to A. Krim might find a time here. He's going to go for it. Slasher, though, backed on up. I like that reposition. Now they're going to push him.
Couple rounds in a row now for Rise.
And what do these rounds come down to? Due to how far and how spread Rise is, it's just one-on-one gunfights. Slasher wins one on Octane. TJ won one on the methods. Those go the way of OpTic, it's over. You know, it's OpTic winning that.
Well, typically, if you're Rise, I mean, I don't see that being a problem as your recipe for success. When you think about the talent on that team, you think you can win most of those one-on-one fights. But now you're going against an OpTic Gaming lineup, which, if you're going to rely on one-on-one fights, I mean, that's a team that might be able to answer right back to you. I mean, we've seen them so many times. Just, I don't want to say it's their entire strategy, but if you put Slasher and Gunless in positions where they can take one-on-ones, and more often than not, they win them.
Yeah, here's the B hit, but look at that position from Slasher. No scumper. Someone on OpTic might mantle on up, and that's a quick first blood for him. As he's starting to heat up, he's at 7 and 3 at 4 in a row. Just 1 kill off that glide bomb. And look at the positioning. Look at number 5. Look at where TJ is.
I love the call in there for the second grenade. Krim gets cleaned up. Looney has the last one in his sights.
You see, you want Slasher to get this. I love this play. I love this play from Rise, but they take it away from him.
Almost. I love that. You know, it's funny. Chance talked about that on the end of the last Trading Shots episode, that he feels like he doesn't see enough teams in this kind of spot. Like, always play for the biggest advantage you can. Let Slasher get the kill there. Try to get the streak.
Yeah, I mean, let's see where TJ is. So, I don't know. Maybe
Well, obviously, Looney wasn't going for it.
Maybe TJ is patting a little bit. Like, you were shooting at me, bro. What do you want me to do? Just die? It's like, yes, I do.
Actually, yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly the game
Yes.
plan here.
TJ's like, nah, I'm not having that.
That's why he's got that little smirk on his face.
Unless TJ's on a streak. I don't know if we got. So, yeah, TJ was
Okay.
on a 4 as
So
well.
maybe it was give it to TJ or
But still, he's
Slasher.
one off a glide bomb.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I agree entirely. And Chance kind of talked at length about that. Went on a little rant about it.
There's a triple hit from OpTic. 3 towards that B site. Tried to find a timing, but Looney, well aware of it. Peeks on out. Finds the push. Throws the stun out. Looney versus Scump. Method's also here.
And look, it's the same plan from kind of OpTic on defense. Krim's just that island guy. You see the 3 of them working together. Krim just kind of roaming. He's the guy that kind of needs to make a play.
See now, Gunless gonna peek on out. And there's that first blood. Slasher though trying to trade it. Krim just needs to back up. Oh, actually just takes a gunfight. Takes down both Gunless and Slasher.
And if Krim drops there, the map becomes wide open for it's like Rise's playground. But the fact
I thought he was gonna jump away after the first blood, but he just took it.
He took it and he won it. Nice wall bang there from Looney on the Methods. Looney and TJ have a chance in this round. It's not a lot of time. They got to make a decision with this bomb, and they need to make a decision quickly. Not going to matter now. It's going to be down mid-map. Looney loses the final gunfight, and that's a round to OpTic Gaming.
And remember, Krim just challenged 2 of the best ARs in the world. And that's why a lot of the people, when you look at the old OpTic roster, I loved when Krim was the main AR. I mean, he would drop some bombs, and you can see the talent that he has with that STG.
I like this map. We can kind of highlight sort of that. We don't talk about it a lot, but sort of that island guy, the guy that plays by himself. It's not the easiest position you relied on to make plays, and he's been caught out a couple times. He's made plays like that round. But what a difference it is from when he gets those kills or gets first blooded.
So the momentum stopped.
Bit of a different
By
offense
OpTic, yeah.
set up here too from them.
I thought they were just going to go for that A plant. You can see Rice is just giving it up. 2 towards B, 2 towards that operations bunker. And maybe the early rounds that OpTic sent a player up there.
All right,
Forced
so
that transition.
this we saw a million times in Anaheim. And when it usually happened, somebody on Rise gets a pick in this scenario. Like, how many times have we seen them in a 4-on-4? Usually it's Slasher. He's able to beam one, and then they get the retake. But this time it's actually Looney that gets a kill pretty much right as the plank goes down. Methods should be hunted down. Looney now with 2 kills for Rise. Slasher gets involved as well. Octane last up. Octane dead. Looney with 3 kills in that round. And they continue to show in those 4-on-4 retakes on the A site. They're very good at it.
Yeah, they'll take those all day. All that does, right? I mean, for maybe people asking at home, like, why Rise Nation consistently does that. When you plant a bomb, you know more than likely where people are going to set up. You put them in predictable situations so you can use your teamwork, you can use your utility to take them out of those positions. Because why? Because OpTic has to, every 7.5 seconds, check the bomb. Just puts it makes it a much easier read for Rise Nation. Now, is it a risk? Absolutely.
Well, let's see if they can close it out here in round 10. Gunless with the first blood.
Yeah, aggression on Rise. We don't see it too often, but they go straight into A.
That change
They
of
find
pace
Krim.
is what makes them deadly in search.
Methods, though, brought it back. Big gunfight win by Octane. Now a 2 versus 3. This is dangerous. Yeah, I was going to say Looney pokes on out. He's on a 5 spree, gets streaks as well. But Octane, almost clutched it up. And Rise Nation take that round off of big plays by Looney and Gunless.
They just about almost lined up there. He had the flick on the barrel, but couldn't hit the shots to push it to around 11.
Think of those last 2 rounds by Looney. He gets the first blood. He pushes up the middle of the street, gets another kill on the methods. Then gets Octane rotating out. And then right there, they're in a 2v3 situation. They use their nades and their teamwork, and he's able to find 2. A great search and destroy once again by Rise.
It's a great series so far for Looney. When you think about map 1, he was very solid despite the loss, and now in the search, making plays as well. But I think, you know, even though we've talked about OpTic struggles, Rise is a very good search team, if not the best search team in the game. OpTic played them round for round there for the most part. They played them tough.
It was a good situation. A lot of good round situations for them. They were in every single round.
They absolutely were, but ultimately Rise able to take it and tie up the series at 1 apiece in this final best of 5 of the night. Rise won this in 3-0 fashion last time. OpTic trying to answer back. We'll get to map 3 after this quick break. tied up at 1 apiece, headed to Flak Tower CTF. Did you look at the stats for these guys in this map, Joe?
No, but I can do it now. Flak Tower CTF for Rise Nation, 5-4. For OpTic Gaming, guess. What do you think it is?
I'm gonna guess. I don't know. Their CTF was good, then it was poor. I'm gonna go 6-4.
7-0.
Oh, I knew that. We talked about that last night on the broadcast.
Yeah, we sure did.
I just made something up.
Yeah, so a great one for OpTic Gaming. But we know Rise Nation, always a tough team to battle. Both of these teams just going back and forth.
We legit
I do
talked
have one
about that
stat.
3
There was
times
one
last
thing, you and I really talked about in map 1, that parking lot hill. I want to go back to it. OpTic Gaming outscored Rise Nation 118-5.
Holy hell, that is a big advantage on a hard point. But you mentioned here in this CTF, OpTic Gaming 7-0 in stage 2. They're tied at 1 apiece. They're trying to answer back an S&D loss. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listening with OpTic Gaming.
Sun and Gen.
Top window, I didn't hit him with my nade.
He's on the ramp, yeah.
Alright, I'm the right now. I'm their top gun. I'm their top gun. They're top window. I gave it up once they're top window.
Yeah.
Top gun.
They're trapped. Top window.
Yo, he's under me. Low green, yeah. Wait. He's dead. In the mid and outskirts.
Outskirt. Right sandbag,
I don't
one
see
shot.
mid.
Right sandbag dead.
Outskirt.
I'm pulling in.
Yeah, one up. He's weak. Half health. You got him. He's in the right corner.
He pulled him mid.
Okay.
Play kills for him.
That's him.
One behind me.
Wood.
I could die. Someone might have to grab this. I died. I got it. Last guy.
Bottom of the week.
You're out. I got it.
I have a glide. He's one shot their bottom. What the? One shot their bottom mid. One shot wood stack.
Get mid right away.
I'm gonna get left. You guys double right.
You could be top window.
Hit a top gun.
I'm holding right.
What's
What's
pillar? Two pillar.
Get bottom right.
Sorry,
I got one mid.
no one's in. Gents. Punch on Heady. Outskirt going for flag. He's going for
flag.
flag. Glide. I'll spawn in if you want.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, well. Oh, top window.
But they run. Should I do it? You're mid. I can glide. Yeah, glide. Okay, I'm dropping it. We spawn behind him though. He's gonna get in there. Flag's in mid. Yeah. No, he's running gents. I can't kill flag. I'm trying to kill close. I think one's in our mid. I think one's still in our mid. I think one is still in our mid.
Buy time for me.
I'm here.
I got him.
Nice, we gotta find one.
Mid.
Nice, let's go. Good shit, guys. Let's go. I have right. I have all of right. I have it.
I have the mid.
I have all of right.
I'm behind you guys.
Yeah, we're good.
I'll be close.
First guy, Gen, one shot.
Watch it, Jens. I gave up right. I gave up right.
He's right there.
I'm
What's that?
Up 2-0 and OpTic Joe playing with a fire.
Octane, man. First of all, I started off 71. He was the reason why they scored that first cap. I love the communication for him. Hey, I'm going to die. Make sure someone plays for this. The guys off spawn. They rotate to their inner lobby. He's still going off. But you heard, I mean, how many times do we hear intensity from a guy like Octane? Like, he is very calm and cool, collected. But he was fired up when Methods got that return. And, well, they are not stopping right now. He's at 14-4. The flag is gone as well. This is a massacre through this first half.
What a 3 minutes it has been for OpTic Gaming. The third score in. They're averaging a cap a minute right now, and they're building some more streaks. Fully streaked out as Methods as he begins to fly forward. Eyes on Looney. Not an easy gunfight, but trying to take it. So one guy at Wood. Gunless now trying to get to their top window. Looney pulls out his pistol and gets hip fired there by the bar. So the pressure of OpTic will continue. And I don't know if I was going to say, maybe consider pulling a streak out here and just adding insult to injury with another score.
I will say one thing. Looking at that scoreboard, Octane and Methods completely out-dueling Gunless and Slasher. That sort of duo matchup going all green wall right now. They're having such a wonderful series and a map number 3 so far. But still, a lot of time to work with if you're Rise. The problem is, though, you have streaks to deal with, and, well, gunfights like that are just going away of OpTic.
Rise just trying to get out of their base and maybe enjoy some kind of map control, but it's been quite some time since they've been able to. As Slasher gets a kill, OpTic answers. They still have Crim6 inside of their lobby making plays. The stun going to slow him down before he can get to the safe top window. And OpTic, the pressure just continues to come in. Octane and Methods both find kills there. The other two players spawn out. They have to OE. You have Crim6 in the base ready to deal with this. He can at least slow this down. Obviously tough to make the play with a PPSH at that range. He actually does still get the kill, so that's going to be a 4th score. Rise getting crushed in the first 5 minutes.
I would say probably the reason why OpTic is 7-0 on Flak Tower CTF is during the first 2 weeks they played Ardent Force against Rise Nation, and that was a stomping in itself. This time it is the complete opposite, where OpTic Gaming are running over Rise right now. And you're just seeing the potential of this OpTic Gaming team, especially in respawn.
Well, how do you think the vetoes went then?
Rise, I don't think they play London Docks. Yeah, Rise do not. They're 0-0. That's
That means
auto
that.
veto.
But then so OpTic got out.
Got
I guess
out.
got Arden out. Yeah,
Force.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I guess if I was OpTic, I wouldn't really want to be on Docks either, considering my record on Flak Tower and the fact that we just got, what were they, up 5-1 over Tatumized, and Tatumized brought it back on Docks.
I mean, Docks 0-0 for Rise Nation, 0-1 for OpTic. So both a map neither team wants to play on.
Makes sense. I mean, it's usually top teams kind of avoid London Docks for the most part because of the crazy swings that can happen.
It was the opposite, though, early on in the year. It was
something to consider, though. Thinking about the fact that Rise beat them so bad on Arden, now OpTic on Flak. Like, what's the decision next time?
If we had like an extra series, it would probably go London Docks.
Yeah,
it probably would.
That's what I'm thinking.
This was like a grand final, and it was going to the second best of 5.
And that's just anyone's game.
Huh?
That's anyone's game.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, that just comes down to who's shooting better, and right now it's OpTic.
Yeah.
OpTic is 21-5. He's on another 7 spree. He's just earning more streaks.
The last 3 minutes of this game are littered with a streak every 30 seconds.
I think this is what people are so excited for. You know, obviously Method's a big pickup, but the first pickup for OpTic was Octane. It was the first guy they wanted, and this is the reason why. Because he can have games like this where he is just a world-class AR, and he's 23-6 right now, just finished on a 9 spree. In Crimp, he wins that gunfight versus Gunless. Another flag opportunity for OpTic Gaming.
There are very few players that can just completely shift a game in a moment and kill, you know, in like a, let's say in like a 1-on-3 type spot in a respawn and kill everybody. Octane had a couple of those last week where he just basically becomes Jason Bourne and destroys the entire opposition.
Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne.
24-6. That's a thing of beauty. Rise.
And again, look what he's going up to. He's going up against Slasher and Gunless. Obviously, Gunless, I believe, right now has a PPSH, but, you know, even that battle versus Slasher, like, it's not an easy one to take.
Looney picks up a flag, dropped immediately. And there's just been, I mean, what is that? The first glimmer of offense. By offense,
that
I
might
mean
be the first return.
Getting near the flag that we've seen really from Rise throughout the course of this game. That's what I was saying. Around the 3-minute mark, you're going to start to see.
Yeah, let's actually see Paradox.
Again.
Can we check the scoreboard? Yep.
First return. Thought so.
Oh, wait. No, they had 4 returns.
Oh, who was the one return? It was on the other side. So they just converted so well.
Yep.
Oh, why do I feel like Rise have not had that many touches on the flag?
I don't know. I felt the same way. So they had 4.
I saw the one. I was like, yeah, exactly. That's a different team. Numbers.
Colors. Numbers and colors.
So hard.
It's tough for us podcasters, you know?
Scump.
Names are tough for you?
Yeah, honestly, life is just hard for me. The problem right now with this time, like, if Rise get a couple down, the streak's going to come in. You have multiple players with streak. Slasher doesn't see Methods in the corner. Waltzes on by and gives him a freebie.
I believe the end of this series, though, we have 2 London Docks, right?
I believe so.
So let's take a look at that, because with 2 minutes left, you still have streaks on the side of OpTic. I think this one is all but over. So looking at London Docks Hardpoint, OpTic Gaming are 10-1.
Yikes.
Rise Nation are 2-2.
Wow.
Now, if we do go to a game 5, that's where things change. Rise Nation are a perfect 6-0, and where OpTic Gaming is 2-3.
That's kind of been the matchup. I mean, obviously they had their strengths in CTFs, but we know the hardpoint edge goes to OpTic. We know the search and destroy edge goes to Rise Nation. Usually in that scenario, it's just, which way does the CTF go?
Yeah, but I think the tough thing with Rise is, you know, they have the hardpoint potential.
Yeah, very true, very true. Whereas OpTic hadn't shown a lot of search potential until really past couple weeks. Well, I wouldn't say potential exactly. You knew they could do it. It was just getting to that point where they're actually getting W's.
I mean, that was always so tough for teams. Is you had to beat Rise once in basically every game mode, or at least twice in one game mode, which is near impossible, just how good they've been. We're starting to show some cracks a little bit. Starting to crack. Saw it last week. We're seeing it this week where they're just getting pushed to the distance.
And like you said, next up will be a Hardpoint where OpTic are lights out. Granted, they're pretty strong on just about all of them. But as it stands, and just knowing the map,
He dropped 30, by the way.
it looks like OpTic's returning the favor.
31.
Yeah, Octane had a silly game. Anytime you're
When
dropping
you
30
ever
plus on
see-
Flak Tower.
We think 20 plus is a great game on Flak. Like, if you have 20 plus kills, you went off on Flak Tower. He's got 31.
With no extra time. Nothing extra needed whatsoever for Octane to dominate it. Was that TP that was clapping? He's like, holy hell, you guys look like a solid squad there. That's
Hello. Hey, Sam, you really shut it down there.
Well, that was a big talking point for them last week. You know, the guys were outside after, I think it was the night after the Tainted loss, and they were just not arguing, but having a pretty, I don't want to say heated, but a pretty animated discussion about kind of their CTF struggle. So like if we can, intense is a better word that I can find inside of the vocabulary, was shuffled somewhere around inside of this brain. But they talked about the CTF, like we win CTF, we win series. Like we just need to get more consistent in that mode and we're fine. Like we're gonna win a search here and there. We know how good we are at Hardpoint. We just need to make sure we're like rock solid in CTF and we're good. And that was the definition of solid like a rock.
Absolutely.
Yes, Joe. So what is it? Are we sure it's Doc's up next? Can we take a look at
think-
the overall best of 5?
Yeah, so both back-to-back London Docs. And it's two different sides of the coin. For Rise, you want to get to that search and destroy where
Can you
you're
get
perfect.
there? Not going to be easy.
For OpTic Gaming, you are 10-1 on this map. I believe that it includes Stage 2 in Anaheim.
Wow, that's pretty unreal. If you're Rise, going into this with how you haven't played it as much, you know how good OpTic Gaming are here. Like, I don't know. What do you think is like a key to success for Rise to maybe take this
The
game?
Slayers have to wake up. I mean, we just saw in that game 3, Gunless was double negative.
How
Slasher
often-
was getting outplayed.
How many times have we seen Gunless around double negative?
I mean, again, I think Looney had the most kills. So you need the superstars to wake up for Rise Nation.
They need to wake up right now on this map, or this series is done, and OpTic Gaming will exact their revenge on the Rise Nation.
And I am a true believer in TJ. Like, I believe the way TJ is playing is how far Rise goes for like playoffs and for champs. He just brings a different factor to this team when he's on, and we've seen that at the Opens. Like, kid's disgusting. He just doesn't hit that level all the time.
That's very true. I like how some of these stories are shaping up, though, as far as some of the top teams matching up. Like you have sort of the OpTic and LG story. OpTic crushing the first time, LG answers back at Anaheim. What will happen in our third match here? Or if playoffs, if LG somehow make a run, or like OpTic get crushed by Rise the first time, trying to answer back, will they meet up in playoffs? Like, I love the battles that have gone down with some of the top teams. It's pretty awesome to see, and even like Rise and Red with the marathon of matches will be at 14 maps we casted on Sunday at Anaheim. There's just a lot. Honestly, I just can't stop thinking about playoffs. It's gonna be awesome.
We're almost there.
Almost.
Just got to figure out who's going to join us from Division B.
All
These
right.
two teams, you could basically say almost there. The magic number is 9. Remember, we were discussing that for a while, what it was going to be, and it seems like 9 and 5 is sort of that magic number, and then maybe someone gets through at 8 and 6 with the tiebreaker. We'll see how the rest of this league plays out, because it was a great day for Complexity, the worst day ever for Luminosity.
I still can't get over that. I mean, obviously, I was the lunatic that said LG was going to make the run, but to come out that flat,
Hello. It's a pretty
just,
big deal.
yeah, really, really shocked me. But let's get into this map 4. See if OpTic can close out the series, or can Rise push the distance to a Game 5. Octane, the man of the match there in that CTF, actually picks up a second there right before he drops.
There you go. You can see just the kill feed red. I think that's even just nice if you're Rise. All right, the guns are starting to warm up a little bit. We're starting to play our style. And that is good to see. That's some confidence, because that game 3, nothing was going your way. But here comes OpTic. Can they find the last shots on Gunless? No, Scump not able to do so, but Crim and Methods can. So that's 4 dead now for Rise. They get a bit of a split spawn, and Crim read it correctly, but so did Slasher. It's on Methods now. Can he find both? Not able to do so. So Slasher and Gunless, 2 guys didn't have the best game 3. They are winning all the gunfights right now.
All right.
This AR duo can be so deadly.
Well, that's exactly what you said. Those, well, not necessarily those 2, but just the Slayers need to wake up, which usually targets those 2.
I would say those
and,
2.
Gunless now 7-2, 4 kills in a row. A ways to go till it streaks, but he's got a chance to maybe make some plays here. Just, I don't know how he's still up. It feels like he keeps taking a peek at 2 to 3 players. I mean,
you're at 5-3. Yeah, you're trying to stay alive, but he was just so far pushed up. But a great start for Rise, and just like that, Scump, though, able to find 2 kills. The pressure not going to stop now, as OpTic are going to push through gate. You still have Methods here. And here come those nades from the green wall.
Nades raining in, making it difficult for Rise to, well, hold this safely, but they still are pushing out a nice lead. OpTic through 2 hard points are only going to have 5 points on the board. It's been a great start from Rise, but obviously not a big enough lead that it's really whatsoever scary. Still very, very early in this one. But Gunless going to be the one on the early rotation as a chance to maybe disrupt the front line of OpTic Gaming. Gets the first pick. Oh, I look good for a second, but the trade does come in. Looney now goes soaring in. He's going to be able to contest due to the plays that Gunless and company were making. He does finish off Crim 6, but now's your chance. You got to go. There's one player in the hard point. It's all on Octane. He's had these moments where he goes big, but look at Slasher. Just peeks him, picks him off, and gets the streak on it. Yeah.
Huge play from him, and he's still staying alive on a 6 spree now. And this is what we talked about, you know. OpTic obviously so good, but you know the potential's there at Rise, where they're going to at least try to win one a series. With how good their Search and Destroy is, I think that's all they need to do.
There's never a map and mode combination that you count them out of.
Nope.
They're showing you right now. OpTic's got to get the juices flowing. They need to get something going, because with the 3 streaks available and the lead, if they break the back of barrel, that's when it starts to get into scary territory. If they can make this play, look at the pinch sort of opening up. 2 are going to spawn lights. Looney already get into the back. It'll be just has to get one transition. Oh, God, yeah.
If he gets 1 kill, he might have spawned them out.
Might have.
But you still have TJ. You talked about the split. It was those 2 guys on the main street. That was the other side. Now TJ just trying to stay alive, able to find a 2nd kill. But that spawn so close towards the water.
Yeah, look at where they are for Rise. They're all over the map.
Spread. This is a huge hill for OpTic to just get back into the game, to stabilize a little bit, slow down the momentum that Rise was building. TJ did a wonderful job staying alive in the back, but the guys got shut down in the front.
Well, TJ, he's 13-12, so you said he's a guy who needs to step it up. Sometimes they live or die by him to some degree. Can he continue this over the course of the map? Because OpTic, once down big, have gotten right back into it. The final 15 or so seconds may go to Rise if TJ can hold on, but they're going to try and challenge this time. TJ's in the corner. Can't win both. The spawn's coming in at Crane, though, for Rise, so they'll be set up for next, and you still have streaks on Slasher.
Yeah, Looney played that well. Was just trying to be annoying, just not allow those rotations. You still have that artillery and that fighter pilot, as you said, so how are OpTic going to try and break this dock setup? It's a good hold for Crane. And Slasher, wow, he's not missing right now.
It's like you saw what Octane was capable of. Here's the reminder that Slasher can do it as well.
That's why it's always so surprising when you have 2 great ARs. Like, Octane not having the best game at 10 and 14, but he's still getting some kills. Like in that CTF, it was just all Octane.
Yeah, sure. Completely dominated it. Maybe Slasher a little pissed off because he's bringing it. And I think the big thing, though, is still TJ. 19 and 15, has the most kills of anyone in the lobby. A map where he can find some freedom and disrupt what OpTic's trying to get done. But now you get Slasher up to the box, or sorry, up to the steps where he can kind of peek box. And they've made it so it's at least not easy for OpTic to get in the hard point and really rack up any time. They're doubling him up right now. We're almost done with our first set of rotations. These final couple seconds will be it. And now, all right, Joe, so it's 120-65, Rise of a big lead. What are your big takeaways from that first set of rotations?
Right now, just looking at that scoreboard, I just think about the slaying. I mean, the slaying is all Rise right now. Everybody negative besides Crim on the side of OpTic Gaming. And then just a turnaround from Slasher and Gunless. Those 2 guys didn't have the best game 3. They're able to do so. And if it wasn't for barrel building, what would this scoreline be? I mean, OpTic, they got probably 40 seconds on barrel building. That brought them back in the game Rise did a wonderful job on Main Street and Lower Docks. It was Barrel where they had a one sign of weakness. That's where OpTic Gaming finally scored some points.
Yeah, remember through the first 2 hardpoints, there were 5 points on the board for OpTic. Now Rise will get the spawn at Useless, so they'll be set up for Main Street. OpTic will be right around the 100-point mark, so still very much in this game.
Yeah, they had great time here at Statue. They're at 65 points, so they had 33 seconds there.
Think about just how close that game 1 was. You think it might come down to just one big play.
And one big play could be Scump going on the pinch. The Rise members, they realize it, but that's all he had to do. He got 1 kill and he turns him around. That allows Methods to push on up. He finds that headshot with the bar on a TJ. And here we go, OpTic Gaming. They get a lot of time on that Statue Hill, but here comes the artillery. So this will stop that momentum a little bit. Luckily, what do streaks do? They bail you out of bad situations.
Yep. But at the same time, like the reverse side of that, OpTic make an incredible play to force the streak out. It's frustrating they still have them, but they force the streak out and they get back in for the last 20 seconds or so. So this is a phenomenal hard point for OpTic Gaming and a much better start to the second set of rotations that we saw the first time through. Now only trailing by 20 points, but Rise Nation will be set up on Dockside for this next hard point. We'll see if OpTic Gaming can break in once again.
I keep hearing Krim yelling on the main stage, and you love to hear that if you're OpTic, because he's a guy who, when he gets pumped up, so hard to take him out of his zone. Methods, big gunfight win on a TJ, but you still have Gunless, Slasher, alive in that hill. Nice nade from Slasher, but OpTic are here to contest, and that's all you want. And the kills starting to come in both sides, but Gunless is here with that bar. So good with it. And now he's out 4 kills, and maybe he starts thinking about streaks, but never mind. Krim shuts it down.
Just wait for your help to maybe get back there. You have TJ holding the angle to at least give you information, but that may have dropped anyway. OpTic bring it back very close, and the next hard point, Rise start to push it out. When can OpTic chain together a couple really solid hard points and maybe take the lead in this one? You still have the fighter pilot available.
Comes down to this. I think Barrel's huge. I think Barrel
Look
could
where Rise are spawning right now.
Yeah, no, I think Barrel, though, could decide the outcome of this game if it's in the other distance or if Rise are going to put it away. A big set of kills coming up.
Here we go.
For OpTic, are they going to hold, or are they going to break on through? Is Rise going to hold on? And I like that play from Slasher. Win the rotation. You know how tough it is to break this Barrel hill because you get teams spawned so far away. So on the rotation, he calls in 2.
And
great play.
You know your team's not in great positions. They're all just kind of coming off the spawn. That allows them to set up, or it should have allowed them to set up, but you get 2 kills. They go to OpTic Gaming. OpTic just breaks right through, and now it's a split spawn. 2 spawning out at Useless, and that might be the play that gives OpTic the lead. How does that happen, Joe?
I mean, Slasher and Gunless, so still have a chance, and they're buying time for their teammates to pinch. Krim, though, he realized the situation. Him and Scump able to get a couple of kills on the board, and Scump gets another one, and there we go. They're able to do it. Yeah, I mean, they just didn't get pushed up far enough on the map. And then OpTic just soar on in and get all the kills that they needed. You saw we were on board with Slasher. He was in a tough spot at driveway, and basically that opened up water, which allowed OpTic to hit the front and that side staircase. So a beautiful break by OpTic, and now they have the lead. And it just feels like the gunfight's starting to go their way. But finally, Slasher able to stabilize. What a game out of him at 30 and 19. And they did have a good crane hold last time. But the spawns are all over right now for Rise.
OpTic now in the lead. Slasher trying to make the play. He doesn't have any help here. He's at least able to pick up 2. Maybe it's an opening for TJ to come in from the rear, and he's doing just that. Picks up 1, dives at the next, but Methods up to the task. But one by one, Rise keep coming in, just trying to clear them out of this hard point. They're still spawning. Useless and continue to reinforce this. But it's been a Rise lead throughout the entire game until that barrel break that came in from OpTic. I said, you know, it might just be one big moment. That could be it. That could be it.
Here we go. The final 15 seconds going to go the way of OpTic Gaming. They're going to have a comfortable lead as we head to Statue, and it just always feels like it builds up to this 3rd Main Street hill. Krim trying to go on a barrel flank. This should be huge. If they could get a ton of time on Statue, he's able to find 1 on the Looney. He forces that player. That's Gunless to be low water, trying to find the guy on the hill. But look at the chaos he's created just by going on that flank.
Well, they can't worry about trying to put pressure on a Statue. They try to isolate him first and clean up the kill. Meanwhile, Scump was soaking up some time. OpTic was able to hit the 214 mark, but now they've got him spawning. backside of fire. They've got a nice line across mid-map now for Rise. Grenades, though, come in, and that's a stun right in your face. Thankfully, you have armored on.
Problem is as well is his teammates lost the gunfights everywhere else, and then he goes down. Look at that kill feed, all green right now, 4 dead. And that's such a big 18 seconds for OpTic. If they get all that time, they'll just need about 8 seconds, but 3 do go down. You gotta put some pressure on this hill. I think so, and Gunless is able to win that, so keeps them off for a few seconds, but OpTic's gonna be at about 240. Rise Nation have to be perfect from here on out.
OpTic have shown they're the best hardpoint team in the game. They're trying to prove they belong in the best conversation for best team in the game. Is this where they leave their mark? Can they close it out here in the hardpoint over Rise Nation? It'd be so good for vibes, so good for morale heading into playoffs. And they look like they could do it here. Scump gets a couple of kills. The flurry now coming in from OpTic. TJ, the next one up on Rise, he gets a couple. He actually lines up 3. He lines up 3 and gets into the hardpoint. We're not done yet, Joe.
No, but he's not going to think Crim's here. And Crim's in a good spot. And either way, this can't finish here, and all 4 go down. I think that's it. Just 4 seconds in it for OpTic Gaming. They're going to close this series out and take that #1 spot, secure their place at playoffs. I love that, baby.
They talked about it being about egos, about pride. I think you can see how much that meant to Scump in this OpTic side. The revenge is real. OpTic get the win. Wow. I need them to play at playoffs. Yes, please. Yes, please. That was awesome.
And you see the frustration on Rise once again. You just got to talk about Barrel. It's 180 to 140. Slasher calls in, the fighter pilot gets 2 kills, and then they just... I mean, there was 3 dead for OpTic at that point. And that is a point. I mean, we talked about that's a point where if they win that rotation, close it out, that's probably the game. Instead, OpTic just go off. And they go to Crane, get a ton of time there. I mean, Scump's got me fired up, dude.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. And, you know, if you miss Stage 1 playoffs, I can tell you Stage 2, it's going to look a lot like that. I know sometimes the energy isn't there from some of the teams just, you know, going through the process for these league matches, but we're down to the wire now. This is leading into playoffs, and those are 2 of the top teams in the world. And OpTic wanted to send a message. We heard you, Scott.
I mean,
we heard you loud and clear.
For Methods, he gets his revenge on an old Rise team. I know he wasn't very happy when they lost that first series. Dude, I don't remember the last time I've seen Scump that fired up, honestly.
It feels like it's been a long time.
Probably Stage 1 playoffs. Maybe
like
even CWL champs last year. I don't know, man. Woo!
That was awesome. That was awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed that series. God, that's what I'm saying. Like all these storylines, like with the trash talk, and it comes down to it is just a bit of egos there. Like, you know, a Scump and some of these OpTic guys, mostly Crim, they're used to being champions for so long, and they've been doubted this year. They've been counted out because they haven't been able to get a win. They want one bad.
Yeah,
bad.
You see that effort out of OpTic Gaming, how fired up they were. But that's it from Clint and I. I believe we have Jess down on the floor with an interview.
Thanks, Joe. So before this match, you called it an ego match. You said you were looking for some revenge. How does it feel to get that revenge?
It feels absolutely incredible. They made quick work of us last time we played them, so winning is definitely huge for us, first in the division now. Felt like all the pressure was on for that match. If we won that, we qualified for playoffs, like officially. So feeling really good right now. The intensity was there. We were screaming, so things are going good.
So what changed? What's different from the last time that you played Rise?
Just the intensity. Like, we were getting up, we were screaming, you know, calling out way better. The first time we played, we were super flat. I think we knew how important the match was, but we just didn't play like it. And this time, completely different. The intensity was there, and that's what happens.
All right, so finally, you guys are in a really good position. You know, sounds like you got your work cut out for you. So what is the plan, or what are you focusing on for the remaining 2 days of the Pro League?
I think it's just polishing up our S&D. Our respawn is, I think we're the best respawn team in the game right now, and I don't think it's close. So if we can win our S&Ds, then we're going to win the last 2 events this year.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. Back on over to the casters.
Well, Joe, I think you and I have said that we agree with that. If they can play better in search, yes, they will win a tournament. There's no questions asked. Like, go back and look at their Hardpoint.
Yeah, I know.
If you go and look at what they've done in Hardpoint and CTF, like, I looked at their stats from Anaheim. I looked at the stats. I was like, looks like a team that could have won the tournament.
Listen,
when you look at it, it's nuts. But the search, though, they were what? I think it was like 4-5. They were at Anaheim. You shift that to maybe 5-4. That might be a tournament victory.
Now he goes, I don't think it's even close. The CTF wasn't close, but the 2 Hardpoints were still very close. In the other division, you have a team called Red Reserve who would love to take that to the test. I would love to watch that.
They're very good at Hardpoint.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see. Just a lot of different matchups, but yeah, I mean, their Hardpoint ever since this team has formed has always been incredible. And when you talk about OpTic Gaming teams, it's the slaying power, and usually Hardpoint's their go-to.
Well, let's talk MVP speculation. One of the bigger matches early in the day was that Luminosity versus Complexity match. A huge one for implications for them to get into playoffs. It's going to go to none other than Doug Sensor Martin. He had statistically probably his best series of the entire year. You know, I'll be honest, you know, we were digging into him on trading shots. We came in and looked at the stats coming into today. He was the worst respawn KD. Near the lowest, I think like second lowest in search. He came in and had an incredible series. And I talked to the team, and they said, we're telling Sensor to focus more on himself, focus on these gunfights. He thinks the talent's there. He just needs to focus more on what he's doing and not what the team is doing. He also told me, you know, he's been running armored more, so he doesn't have to deal with kind of the stuns as much. Just focus on one-on-one gunfights. Yeah, slow the pace down. It worked today. It looked great today, and I love that pick. I mean, he was phenomenal in that series.
No, it was a great pick, and yeah, I mean, I think everybody's been a little bit tough on him because he has said he's been very confident in himself.
Hey, listen,
but the stats don't lie.
Exactly, I love Sensor, and he has potential. But listen, when you have poor stats, that trash, not trash talk, but like that criticism comes in. The criticism is going to come in. And a lot of times it's warranted. But what do you do if you don't want to hear that stuff? Play like that.
You just got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. You got a couple more days of the Pro League. And well, we're going to take a look at our standings after this day number 1 of the final week. And here we go. OpTic Gaming back in that number 1 seat. Unilad followed by them at 9-3. Rise at 8-3. Now I believe it's 8-4, right? They were 8-3 coming into this. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, something like that.
United at 7-4. Complexity at 6-6. LG at 5-6. It's looking tough for them.
Hey, you know, I rarely get things right on trading shots, so I want to bring it up when I do. But I did say, remember the question 2 weeks ago? What team had the best chance to take that number 1 spot from Rise?
Yeah, and I agree with you. And Ben gave me nothing. That's why you got the championship point. Like, give me something.
But also, I said LG might get in the playoffs over United, and that's looking great after today.
It's not.
It looks horrible.
The good thing, the only good thing, right, is they have to play United tomorrow. And if you want LG to go on a run, they have to go 3-0, and United has to go 2-2. And I believe the last day.
I hope that's a Game 5 stunner like it was last time.
And then the last day,
series.
United, I believe, plays Complexity. So that is a match. They could get 2 more losses, but I don't know, man.
It's not likely. It's not likely.
The problem is LG has to beat OpTic and Rise.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. They're in a whole world of trouble. I'm an idiot. United.
No, you're a believer,
United,
right?
You're playing great. Clay, I love you. Clay gets mad at me when I say they're not going to do well. I heard his feelings sometimes. Clay, I love you.
I haven't done well.
Yeah, they sometimes. All right, so let's take a look at the schedule for tomorrow. We got 2 days left of matches, and then we're getting into playoffs. We're kicking it off with Tainted Minds versus United. Let's just look through it. I mean, the thing
that's it for LG.
United, LG, and then LG Rise. I mean, that is so. Unilad OpTic, it matters for seeding, obviously, but they're both good in the playoffs. Yeah, the big ones. I mean, it's the LG matches. That's the big thing. Also.